All right. Grug, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and it's tonight actually
Fair enough.
for some of us. Um, okay, let me share screen. Did that work? All right. So I would be showing a slightly better demo, but you can see here at the bottom the 5 hour limit is reached. So we can come back in 3 hours, or I'll just show you basically some of what I do. So these days, because I'm pursuing a PhD, and I tend to spend a lot more time just doing writing and reading documents rather than actual hacking stuff. I also I'm not a very good academic because I'm not part of an academic community. I'm still a hacker, so surprisingly enough, the thing that Claude is most useful for is allowing me to understand what they're actually asking when they ask me to do things, because I don't quite get it. So there's a call for abstracts that went out recently that was like, here's some topics we're interested in how this relates to UK policy. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, this thing interests me. I will talk about hacktivists in Ukraine. And like, that's the thing that interests me. But it turns out that they're actually asking for things that are relevant to UK policy, and Ukrainian hacktivists are not. So anyway, like, the way I go about doing this is very, very stupid. I just write like, I don't know what I'm doing. Here's some stuff. Here's what I've thought about it. So I list like the various ideas I've had for the different topics they suggest. I give the actual CFA so that Claude knows what I'm supposed to be doing. The guidelines, so it gets an idea of like what's expected. And then it's quite useful in saying, all right, based on 3 topics, like this one is actually relevant. So now I'm actually this is what I'm going to be writing on, which is how have adversaries changed their doctrines based on feedback from actual experience. So this, I think, is one of the things that's very interesting, because if you look at the West, the change to doctrine has been, oh, the Russians suck at cyber. Don't worry about them. Whereas the Russians have gone, well, we tried doing it like the Americans want to, and it sucks. So let's go back to doing it our way. And it's been a lot more effective. And I think that it's sort of quite interesting because, anyway, I'll get super distracted on that. Point is, that's something that's actually relevant that people can take away from. Whereas, the legal and policy implications of non-state actors, I don't find that particularly interesting. What I find interesting is the political implications, right? So if you take the idea that war is policy by other means, and then you have the things involved, which is the army, the people, and the government, right? This is your Clausewitz's Trinity. Hacktivists are this other 4th thing. They're completely outside of the structure that gives war its legal framework and definition, right? They are not responsible to the army, the people, or the leadership. So to me, I find that very, very interesting. You've got the sort of chaos factor, but it's got nothing to do with policy. And so, I then say like, great, that sounds good. Let's like start refining this a little bit. And because it has access to my Obsidian and my Zotero, I have it do the outline in Obsidian. And then I give it the sub collection in Zotero, which has the relevant documents, or basically the papers I think are most relevant. And I say, scan through here and pull out the like top 5 that seem relevant. And then it will get it wrong. And I'll spend many, many hours trying to get it to do the right thing rather than just correcting it myself. So that's, I think, the other thing that AI has become very good for is procrastination is so much better now than it was before, because I don't actually have to do the procrastination. I can have the AI do it for me. So, yeah, that's about it. Like that's what I do these days. It's not technical. It's not very interesting. And I end up having, like, once I've done all of this, whatever it's produced is going to be hot garbage. Like it's generally pretty good, but it's not useful. Like a lot of the times it'll say like, here's a key point and here's something completely unrelated that I'm just riffing on. And so I need to rewrite the whole thing. But it's still very good for like doing outlines, which are annoying to do. And no, I guess that's it. Like it's not that interesting, but it helps me kill some time.
I have to say that I actually find it very interesting. And if I'm to go philosophical for just 2 seconds, number one, I see how you work and how you think and how you approach things, which is far more useful than any tool. And number two, we've all faced that pain. We don't understand English. And number three is, I guess, philosophical, so I'll stop here. I see there's a question, Moon.
Hey. Well, several questions. One's from Daniel. Can we get Claude Peeps to get you max access?
Well, we'll wait for Claude Peeps to show up.
I guess so.
Hopefully that's a resounding yes under mute. There's someone going, we're on that right now. I'll assume that that's the case.
Excellent. And then Don Mallory's asking, how are you getting it to refer to real useful articles, and do you find it repeats the same articles over and over again, which is a problem I have in a completely different space?
Right. So I give it my Zotero, right? So it has access to my article database, and then I'll point at a particular sub-collection. So I've got like cyber, and then underneath that I've got war, which will have the stuff that I've collected over the last however many years that I think is relevant. And a lot of them will be annotated and things like that. So I'll say, like, scan through here and list the ones that you think are relevant. And then it will list a bunch of stuff that is not relevant. And then I will say, no, try and find ones that talk about cyber warfare. And it will find a different subset of irrelevant ones. And I will do that for hours until I run out of time. And then I have to go and manually pick out the ones that I wanted in the first place. So it's like, you're right, it's not very good at picking the right stuff, but trying to get it to pick the right stuff is a lot more fun than picking the right stuff myself. Which is probably why PhDs take so long.
Probably. We had another presentation. I want to say it was the second season 1, second episode, where basically the gist was they were going through a lot of the basically restricted the knowledge base to published research data that was in like PubSci and stuff like that, and then started to pick through based on links and things like that. And then to answer your earlier statement, you were talking about the Clausewitz Trinity. I think hackers fit in as partisans, right? Like they fit under that.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, partisans are on the same local territory, so they are, in a way, theoretically under the control of the government of one side. Hacktivists are completely outside, right? A France-based hacker can participate in the Ukraine war. And so that's a difficulty, because if the Ukrainians come to a political settlement that they're content with, then it means that, policy by other means, whatever, it ceases to be a war within that context. But that has that's not applicable to these third parties who can choose to continue or not. What's interesting is most of them just, they get bored and they stop, right? Like there's a good paper called Getting Bored with Cyber War, which showed that there's this huge 2-week spike of activity that just collapsed immediately afterwards. And to a large degree, that's because of the limited impact that they were having, just DDoS and stuff like that. So while that was a limited impact, they actually caused significant problems for the Ukrainian side, because they generated so much publicity about how insecure Russia was. All of these Russian government agencies and organizations invested heavily in cybersecurity all of a sudden. So there was a marked increase in difficulty after the hacktivists started taking part. And that's directly linked to the amount of publicity that was focused on hacktivist activity. So they had an impact. It was just not the one they wanted.
We have a couple more questions here, I think, Moon.
I was about to say, yeah, it's up to you, Gadi. If I think there's probably going to be more questions than we can cover here. But the main one that seems to be coming up is, I guess David saying, did you enable the research functionality? Do you have a custom style instruction set in the configuration? Looks like you do. No? Okay.
No, man. I treat Claude like it's smart. That's how dumb I am. Like, no, I think that's wrong. Please try again. More academic. More academic.
I think we all start there, and then we just slowly start addressing it like it's a stubborn 7-year-old. Keep going.
We do have a lot more questions, but we do need to move on to the next one. Grugq, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.